In the vast savanna of Africa, there was a tribe led by a wise and cunning leader named Olu. Olu was renowned throughout the land for his strategic prowess in battle and his ability to outsmart his enemies. His tribe was prosperous and well-respected, but they had many enemies who coveted their land and resources. One day, after a grueling battle campaign against a rival tribe, Olu and his army decided to rest at a remote village. They were exhausted and badly in need of rest. The village was peaceful and tranquil, and the people there welcomed them with open arms. Olu was pleased with the hospitality of the villagers and decided to stay there for a few days. Unknown to Olu and his men, their enemies had been watching their movements closely. The enemy tribe was led by a fierce warrior named Kofi, who had long been seeking an opportunity to take revenge against Olu and his tribe. When Kofi learned that Olu and his men were resting at the remote village, he saw it as the perfect opportunity to launch a surprise attack. In the dead of night, Kofi's army marched towards the village, ready to strike. Olu and his men were sound asleep, completely unaware of the danger that was approaching. Suddenly, Olu was awoken by one of his men who informed him of the imminent danger. Olu knew that they were in grave danger. Kofi's army was vast and powerful, outnumbering Olu's army by 10 to 1. He knew that if they fought, they would surely be defeated. In that moment, Olu's mind raced with different strategies and tactics that he could use to protect his men. He knew that he had to think fast if he wanted to save his tribe from certain death. And so, he came up with a plan that would save his men from certain death. He ordered his army to lay down their weapons and hide in the surrounding forests. He himself removed his regal attire and donned a simple cloak. He then sat outside the village playing a traditional African instrument known as the kora, waiting for the enemy tribe to arrive. As the sun began to rise, Kofi's army arrived, led by their fierce warrior. The sight of Olu sitting calmly and playing his instrument surprised Kofi. He had expected to see Olu and his men preparing for battle, but instead, he found them defenseless and unprepared. Kofi hesitated, unsure of what to do next. He knew Olu was a formidable opponent, renowned for his cunning and intelligence. He wondered if this was a trap, if Olu had laid a clever trap to lure him in. He looked at Olu, who sat playing his instrument calmly, making no aggressive moves. Kofi waited for a while, observing the situation carefully. He noticed that Olu was not making any aggressive moves, and his men were nowhere to be seen. He began to wonder if this was a ploy, a clever strategy designed to make him lower his guard. Or was it a double bluff? After some time waiting, Kofi ordered his army to retreat. He turned his back on the village and marched away, his army gradually fading into the distance. As Kofi's army disappeared into the horizon, Olu's men emerged from their hiding places. They were confused and bewildered, unsure of what had just happened. But Olu reassured them, telling them that they were safe, and that they should return to their homes. From that day on, Olu's name became synonymous with bravery and strategy, and his tribe prospered under his leadership. And whenever he faced an enemy, he would always remember the lesson he had learned at the remote village, that sometimes, the best way to win a battle was not to fight at all. Not only was this imperative for Olu to maintain his reputation, but it also shows there are more clever, strategic ways to accomplish your goals. Methods which produce the same results with less work or resistance.